Welcome to the Mundus Fractura Lore Guide. This week on Lore Guide, we have a very brief introduction to its people, the sentient civilized species of Mundus Fractura. There are 20 main major species that have formed the core societies on Mundus. As a point of note before we begin, we will be frequently using the term humanoid to mean a creature of roughly human assemblage, meaning 2 arms with hands, 2 legs with feet, a torso and head. Each of the species in this guide would petition that the term should be centric to their own people, for example, dwarvanoid or orcanoid. As we here at Jerk DM are humans, we're going to go with humanoid and offer an apology to all of the non-humanoids in the listening audience. Let us begin. Drekar. The Drekar, or dragonfolk, are a bipedal humanoid species. The Drekar come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. They range in height from 1.5 meters, or 3 feet, to 2 meters, or 6.5 feet. Most, but not all Drekar have tails. A very few Drekar are born with vestigial wings. These are typically useless for flight, but tend to be seen as a positive omen of an auspicious life by the more superstitious members of the species. Dwarves. Your typical stock and trade dwarves are humanoids of approximately 1.5 meters or 3 feet tall. They are typically a stout and muscular people. Dwarves, male, female, and all in between, are able to grow long, thick, luxuriant beards, but it is an individual preference as to if they do or not. Elves. Elves are graceful, thin-framed humanoids that range in height from 1.5 meters or 3 feet to 2 meters or 6.5 feet. Elves have incredibly long lifespans compared to the other civilized species of Mundus. Due to their exceptionally long lifespans, most elves prefer the political and social stability of elven communities over those of the shorter-lived races. They share a genetic lineage with the Technasti species. Felidae. This bipedal feline species ranges in height from 1.5 meters or 3 feet to 2 meters or 6.5 feet. There are hundreds of subspecies of Felidae, all are broadly known to be quixotic and fickle. Gelatinous cubes. These rare and mysterious approximately 3-meter or 10-foot cubes wander both the surface and subsurface worlds of Mundus. They are composed of a clear gelatinous cubic body that has a singular tentacle or pseudopod. When these beings find others of their kind, they tend to form massive nomadic cubic colonies, moving and living as a single collective super-entity. Gnomes. Gnomes are small humanoids that stand not more than half a meter or 1.5 feet tall. As a people, they are clearly divided into themed or costume tribes such as bees, ladybugs, butterflies, bears, and thousands of others. As individuals and as a species, they seem to have only 2 focuses in life. Firstly, to their local tribal lands, which they call gardens. Secondly, gnomes are in a constant, complex, savage, and bloody feud with each other gnomish tribe to be the dominant tribe. Goblins. A small, industrious humanoid race, approximately 1.5 meters or 3 feet tall. They are known to have skin tones in greens, yellows, or reds. They are frequently found in orc societies or running their own various business ventures, often with ogres, who are typically used as laborers and enforcers. Goliath. A tall, strong, grey-skinned humanoid species, typically around 2 meters or 6.5 feet tall. Goliaths prefer high alpine environments, but can be found in the societies of the lower elevation surface-dwelling species. They are a deceptively primitive race. The uncouth social mask they present to outsiders hides an artistically gifted and culturally refined peoples. Halflings, a small, joyous, almost childlike humanoid species. Halflings are approximately 1.5 meters or 3 feet tall. They are a notoriously lucky people who live to enjoy life's comforts. It is not uncommon to find halfling communities either in close proximity to or deeply integrated with those of the satyr species, as they both hold a very common outlook on life. Humans. If you're not a human or have never met any humans, you might very well consider yourself lucky or not. They are a complicated and varied species, with no two individuals or groups being the same. This is the one species that is known to not be native to Mundus Fractura. Humans are everywhere. They are prolific breeders, both with their own species and several other of the mammalian species. Jubilee. The Jubilee are humanoid in form, but are fluid and appear to be made of semi-solid gel. They range in height from 1.5 meters or 3 feet to 2 meters or 6.5 feet. Jubilee are partially amorphous, able to move through spaces as narrow as 25 millimeters or 1 inch wide. Though they are similar in lineage to the gelatinous cubes, their societies are very much like those of the other humanoid races. Kari, a species of sentient, non-rooted trees. They range in height from 1.5 meters or 3 feet to over 4 meters or 13 feet. They tend to be found in the forests of Mundus. They are a secretive species and are rarely seen in urban surface-dwelling societies. That said, they are a friendly people who enjoy a good conversation with other intelligent species. Though I think secretly they just enjoy the additional CO2 that comes as a byproduct of those talks. Kintaurus, a large, powerful, bipedal bovine humanoid species, typically around 4 meters or 13 feet tall. Kintaurus are known as a genetically dominant species. They can mate with other Kintaurus, but also either humans or any other bovine species, though the resulting offspring may seem to share features of the non-Kintaurus parent, eye or hair color. The child will genetically be 100% Kintaurus. Kobolds, a small, skittish, lizard humanoid species. Kobolds are approximately 1.5 meters or 3 feet tall. They typically inhabit subterranean areas near the surface world. They are keen scavengers of both the surface and subsurface worlds. Mycelium, a bipedal mushroom humanoid species. They range in height from 1.5 meters or 3 feet to 2 meters or 6.5 feet. Mycelium typically live in hive mind colonies for the majority of their lives. At the end of their life cycles, they often become travelers or adventurers in order to spread their spores away from the primary colony on death. They are typically very well liked by other species. Ogres, a large, typically ugly and stupid humanoid species. Ogres stand a towering 4 meters or 13 feet tall. They are often employed by and can be found in goblin societies or corporations as enforcers and laborers. Orcs, a large, strong, green-skinned humanoid species, typically around 4 meters or 13 feet tall. Orc faces can be either vaguely human in appearance or very pig-like. It is a common misconception that these two are entirely separate or different subspecies, when in fact they are all simply orcs. Satyr, a bipedal humanoid species with horns and a goat-like lower half. They stand approximately 1 meter or 3 feet tall. Satyr are inherently resistant to all magic. They are a fun-loving people who are fond of most species they encounter, even if that feeling is not mutual. As noted, they are often, though not always, found near or as a part of halfling societies. It is speculated by the more suspicious races that this is due to the abundance of halflings' alcohol and pipeweed, of which they can enjoy, but do not have to labor to make. Technostai. The Technostai, or sometimes called Mek-Ka, are an ancient race of elves who had long ago transferred their spirits into mechanical bodies to defend the planet from a great astral invasion. I will not delve too deeply, as this is a long, complex tale for another time. Technostai vary wildly in size and form. They range from tiny to huge, with no singular body plan. They are a rare sight in both the surface and subsurface world. Tortum, a bipedal tortoise humanoid species, typically around 2 meters or 6 feet tall. They are well known to be a stoic and reliable people. It is rumored that the psionic tide was first discovered and explored by ancient Tortum. As with the mycelium species, Tortum are typically very well liked by other civilized species. In future episodes, we will take a deeper dive into each individual species, but that is all for this time. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for future Lore Guide shorts, and thank you for listening. Goodbye for now.